we know that the second largest source of greenhouse gas emissions after transportation sector is construction, is buildings. And if we are going to meet our global warming targets, reducing global warming, we have got to make progress not only in the transportation sector, but we've got to make progress in the building sector as well. And so it's really terrific that Portola Valley is making a real statement. They are saying this is important. And Portola Valley is saying we are going to build a town center that is not only green, but we're going to aim for LEED Platinum. And doing some wonderful things, you know, the using locally grown eucalyptus, recycling wood from the school building, using wood from properly managed forests. And it shouldn't be surprising, in a sense, that Portola Valley is doing this, because they've been a wonderfully green town and have really gone after creating open space and setting up a foundation to purchase space to keep it open. While it's not surprising in that sense, and it's it's in keeping with their tradition, with the tradition of Portola Valley, it is still extremely commendable and important. Well, you know, it's really great that Portola Valley has decided that building a green town center is so important that they're going to build it with private money in order to get it done. Now, as the mayor has said, this is not a financial model that can be used by most cities. However, what they're doing is still really important. They're stepping up to the plate. They have the ability to do it this way. And rather than not build a town center, they have decided that Portola Valley has the ability to do it this way, and it's going to be done. And people are stepping up to the plate with private donations. And you know, why this is so important is that the people of Portola Valley are saying, yeah, building green is so important, not just to government, but to the people, that we're going to show how important that is to us, and we're going to put the money in ourselves. So while the financing model couldn't really apply to most places, the leadership example makes an extremely strong statement. And it's a statement that will have a ripple effect. People are saying, this is how important it is to build green. Well, I see it. I know there'll be a time, there'll be more and more government incentive to do this because it has to be done. But there's already a great deal of that incentive going on in California. The Public Utilities Commission has a many-layered program of incentives. For example, the solar initiative, the PUC has set aside $3.4 billion in subsidies through rebates for solar photovoltaic investments by homemakers, by homeowners. In lighting and appliances, there are direct rebates to consumers for energy efficient systems. In heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, there are financing options for residential energy efficient systems. In terms of the retrofit, renovation, and sales of homes, there's financing for energy efficient investments. You have Energy Star houses for builders who are building Energy Star homes. You have financial incentives and also for commercial as well. So at the state level, we are doing more and more to create incentives to get things done. And many local entities are doing it. Portola Valley is doing a great job. But many cities on the peninsula are also rolling out tremendous green programs, and including financial incentives to get it done. And we can't do it alone at the state level. We need to work together with regional and local governments to get it done. So the state is already moving ahead substantially in this.
farthest one along. The outside siding is done. The windows are done at the community hall, and we're just on interior finishes. The library is exterior siding is about 50% done, and they're just starting to tape the sheetrock on the inside. The town hall is the last building to be completed, so we're waiting for windows. They should be here towards the end of this month. The baseball field was completed, and they started using it last week, and that's pretty much where we're at. Towards the middle of this month, we should start the soccer field and a lot of the grading around the buildings, and also the head walls for the creek.
So here we are, we're in early June. This project's been under construction, I guess, for, 16 months, something like that. We now have 3 buildings and a kind of a chewed up site right now in some cases. Lots of construction and earth moving and finishing work going on. Inside the buildings, they're coming along. You can see the spaces and feel the spaces now, and the final materials for the roof and the walls and the ceilings and the light fixtures are all kind of descending on the site and being installed. The doors are being installed and the windows are being installed or have been installed a couple of months ago. The project is on schedule, and I'm very pleased that they're literally talking about moving in here in about 6 weeks, and that the building should be ready for them when they do that. The town center group, the town center administration team, is going to move in late July, maybe early August, depending on whether their furniture arrives in time and is installed. The community hall, which is the building that's farthest along, will probably be usable for fall classes. And the library, I understand, is expecting to move into the library during the month of August. We're going to do a groundbreaking ceremony, a ribbon cutting ceremony at our Blues and Barbecue on the 14th of September. And we're hoping the whole town will come, and in fact we're expecting some people from outside as well. Someone said Al Gore, but I don't believe that. We are very proud of how these buildings are turning out. I'm getting nothing but compliments about how they appear. And quite frankly, I'm most proud about the fact that we have done this in the greenest possible way. There have been little issues. I know the baseball players were very concerned for a little while that they were going to hit home runs into the playground and hit small children in the playground. We had done some measurements, and we thought they might be thinking a little bit bigger about their home runs than they were. And in fact, as I understand it, even their biggest heavy hitters being pitched tennis balls are unable to reach the playground. So it appears as if this is not a risk. If it is a risk, we'll put up a small net or something like that to protect the kids, or a canopy. But that's the kind of problem we're dealing with as we kind of jump into the site now. The soccer players find that the new field's a little wider than it used to be, and it might be a little different than they expected. The tennis court players were a little concerned when we found that one of the tennis courts was way underneath a heritage oak that we could not hurt or damage in any way. But we found a way to shift things a little bit and move it out from underneath the oak and raise one of the courts a little bit. So we got our 3 tennis courts, or 2 tennis courts and 1 all-sport court that includes tennis. So we got our courts just as we had originally planned. We just had to juggle things a little bit. There have been a number of cases where we have found things on the site, in the site plan, for example, trees that we didn't know about that weren't on the plan, that we, in one case, transplanted in order to get it out from underneath the construction site and you still keep the tree. But in general, everything is working out just great. I must say, I expected us to have bigger problems than we did. One final complication to the whole project, which I'll finish with, is it's a complication, but it's also a great asset. We have for years known that there was a creek running in a pipe underneath the town center site. And a group of citizens got together and considered whether we should daylight this creek or not. We decided as sort of a compromise solution to daylight the portion of the creek that's in the meadow area near our buildings, but to leave the pipe where it is sort of squeezed between the playing fields so we didn't have to damage or impact the size or scale of the fields. So we are right now daylighting about 350 feet of the creek.